Hello guys, I welcome you to my very first iRacing video. Now, we've been playing Forza for a very long time and I decided to upgrade my games now. So we are in iRacing. This is where we should hopefully have some proper down-to-earth racing with proper rules, proper restrictions, no smack talking and no idiots going the wrong way and smashing the shit out of everyone. So this is how this format works. We have a couple of laps practice, then you get 2 laps to qualify, and then you have a 25-minute race. This is the European Mazda Mx-5 class, so when you first start the game you don't get a huge amount of cars or tracks, but this is one of the entry-level ones that you do get. I'm currently on the rookie license as we speak here, and this is my best lap around the Summit Point Raceway in the United States. It's a track I haven't been to or known about before actually seeing it in this game, so there was a lot of learning to do. My best lap time for practice, I did quite a few practice laps beforehand, was about 1:06. I wasn't able to crack 1:05. Quite a few people did manage that in the practice sessions, but I was not able to do that. It's really tricky to get the car absolutely balanced, especially through the technical section, as you can see there on the track. So at the moment there you can see third on the grid, about half a second though away from first and second. So here we go on to the grid. It's a bit better, the layout or the format here. You actually have to react to the lights. The guy on the left hand side actually went a little bit early there, and I'm not sure what the penalty for that is, but as it stands it looks like he is going to get some sort of penalty for skipping the start. He only did it by about half a metre, but it is still skipping the start, I would guess. So let's see what we can do here. It was a clean first corner, and that is really such a relief to be able to drive around the first corner without the fear of 100 people smashing into the back of you. So coming into the left hairpin here, this is the technical section, very hard to get right. So we've got 2 hairpins here. This corner here really is quite important. You have to run out wide on the exit, and then you're going to come back for a little kink, and then another kink to the left before you go to a very fast right hand kink. Now this corner here was one where a lot of people were getting it wrong, especially in practice. If you start gear shifting when you're going through that turn, you're going to spin out. And actually look at that, the guy has gone into the pits, so I believe he did get a drive-through penalty, I would believe, or a stop-go penalty for his jump start. So through into second on my first ever race, not too bad. I did practice quite a lot though beforehand. I didn't want to make an absolute fool of myself by not practicing at all and then just totally obliterating everyone in the race. So I did do about 10 to 20 laps practice on this track to make sure that I knew what I was doing. It is actually really hard though to be consistent for a good 25 minutes. In Forza, what I'm used to, you're only doing races of about 5 minutes in length, and you don't really have to concentrate too hard. But in this, you really do have to concentrate. At the end of the video, I will show you my setup that I have for those of you who are interested or who haven't seen it before. But as you can see, back to the race, the guy in the lead there actually pulling away ever so slightly. But this is the beauty of iRacing. It's a longer race. I can pull him back. We've still got 23 minutes left in this race, so as long as I don't make too many mistakes, I can let him make the mistakes, and hopefully I can reel him back in. So we're going to ride for another lap here. The start line is just about here, and you're going to brake and go down to second gear just after that line, hook up with the apex quite nicely, up into third gear on the exit. You don't want to get on the exit on the throttle too early on the exit. The car will go unsteady on you if you do it too early. So coming into a very fast right-hander, you can go up into 5th or bounce off the limiter in 4th around there. On the brakes, don't have to get over to the far right-hand side as you go into the hairpin left. Up into third gear momentarily before going back down to second for the right. Then use the power to go out wide before coming back again to the right-hand side. And try to feather the throttle ever so lightly through this corner here to make sure the car is settled. And then this corner can be taken flat out, but again I like to feather and feed the throttle through gradually to make sure you don't spin out. And actually I think I've gained through that sector there, I look as though I am closer to the leader on this lap than I was on the previous one. He goes a little bit too wide on the exit, but you can do that without getting a dirty lap mark, shall we say. If you cut across the track, you get a little notification at the top. You get 1 point for that, for cutting the track or going off the track, and you're allowed a maximum of 17 in this race, I believe, before you get disqualified. If you make contact with someone, that's 4. So if you add up all your points up to 17, then you're out of the race. So it's quite good in that respect. You can make mistakes, you can get involved in contact, but it's just not too many in one go. So we fast forward here to lap number 5, and we've caught up with some back markers. That back marker is going to go all completely wrong and smash off into the barrier, and actually the leader has got massively distracted here, and I've caught up maybe about 2 seconds there on him. He was a little bit distracted from that mistake from the back marker, so I'm going to be able to put the pressure right on him now. And the good thing about this cockpit view is that now that I'm right behind him, I am right in his rear view mirror, and he will certainly be thinking about my presence. And I'm going to make my presence known going into the final turn. Pull out to the side to make him think or wonder whether I'm going to go up the inside. It's not really a good overtaking space though. This first corner here is quite a good one because it's a long braking zone into a slow corner. But I'm a little bit too far back to do it on this lap. So down into second gear, I do catch up slightly on the brakes, but on the exit, he gets a good exit. So there's not really much chance into the next turn. So the next turn is the flat out right hander. Not really a good overtaking space unless you're already alongside if they have made a mistake. So through here, just like to follow closely. The best overtaking spaces are at the end of the lap and at the very start of the lap. So that end of the circuit, not this one, unless they do make a mistake. I'm just going to follow him closely as I can to try and force him into an error. But he seems to be keeping his cool at the moment. So through this section here, it can be very tough to see your apexes when there is a car in front of you. Especially for this section, you really do want to know your apexes. But I do think you have to focus on yourself and not the other car as much as possible in this game, because as soon as you start focusing on the other car, you're going to lose control before you know it. So we fast forward to lap number 7. We have a 25-minute race, as I've said, 17 minutes remaining, so the battle is quite good already. 8 minutes in, he's going to make a mistake through that turn. I think he turned in and sort of just bailed out completely. Maybe he was getting oversteer and he didn't want to spin the car out, so he just bailed out of the turn. So I'm into the lead on my very first race. Can you believe that? Maybe you can. Probably is quite believable. But it is not easy by any means, this game. It looks like I'm pretty much plain sailing at the moment. I can tell you that it really does require a lot of concentration, this game. So I caught up to this back marker who could have really made it a lot easier for me. Coming through the final turn, he's sort of weaving all over the place. The best thing for him to do now would be just to let off the throttle now and let me go before the corner. He's going to make it hard for himself and for me. So he does let me go through eventually. I'm pretty sure they do get blue flags, the back markers, so they should be yielding a lot earlier. We have more back markers here. This is going to be the trouble on such a short circuit. I don't know what they're doing here. Look at this. I thought I left the idiots behind in Forza, but he's all over the place. I understand that he is in a battle, but he should be letting me through. Sort of swerving all over the place, going left and right. I don't know exactly where he's going. I'm going to look up the inside. Not really worth going for a move. Actually, he bails out at the last moment, so I went for it. He really should have bailed out a lot earlier though, and you can see in the rearview mirror he's gone already. If he had just let me pass on the straight just by edging off the throttle, it would have been a lot easier. And this guy's not going to make it easy for me, letting me through on the entry to the fast kink, and really not the best place. Again, just do it on the straight where you're going to lose a lot less time and it's going to be a lot less risky. So that is the finish there. I've won the race after 25 minutes. Not really much else happened. I finished 33 seconds ahead of second. I think they must have got caught up in an incident. But I think that is the main part of this game, just not getting into accidents, aiming for consistency rather than outright speed. So here is my setup. I've got a Thrustmaster TX wheel there with the TH8A shifter on the right hand side. That is a Wheel Stand Pro that I'm using. Very good space saving solution. I don't like having the wheel on the desk, so this is actually a really good solution, the Wheel Stand Pro. I bought it for £99. Sounds quite expensive for just a frame, but it is so good, and it's fully adjustable to your needs. And I found a very good position, very comfortable. So there it is, Wheel Stand Pro. Those are the normal pedals. I will want to invest in the 3 pedals with the clutch one at some point. That is my chair that I use, GT Omega Racing chair. That's about £180. Very comfortable. You can fix the wheels in place so you don't slide around everywhere. And that is the computer setup there. I do have 3 screens, so at some point I will be going to the 3-screen setup for iRacing. I don't have enough cables at the moment though. And there's of course the Xbox One on the right hand side. So that is going to be all from me for my very first iRacing video. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I really was pleased that I could manage a victory, but a lot of it was down to the others pretty much tripping over themselves and crashing. But that is part of this game, aiming for consistency, make sure you don't crash, and trying to pick your way through that way instead of outright brute force like in Forza. But that is all from me. I hope you have enjoyed this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Hit that like button if you did like this one. Subscribe for more of the same, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.